What's up everybody, Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video I got a 13 Nissan Altima with the big 4-cylinder. Customer's complaint is, at a stoplight, the car wants to overheat. As she's driving along, the gauge comes down. So in this video, we're going to try and figure it out. Let's get into it. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to pop off the radiator cap. First thing I'm going to do is get me some light under this hood so I can see. Alright, let's pop off this radiator cap. Let's see if there's any water in the system and make sure she's not low on water. I don't see any right off the top here. I don't see any down in there at all. She might just have a water leak. I'm going to stick a little hose down inside there. Well, not really a hose. I'm going to stick a spark plug wire. I just cut off one end of it, stick it down inside there, and see how far I go before I hit water. Nothing. Not a whole lot of nothing down there. Not really. Let me top this thing off. Hey, get on there, man. Come on. It might not be as low as I thought it was because it didn't take much water. It looked like it was lower than that. She'd been driving this car and actually she just dropped it off probably 30 minutes ago. So it's still a little bit warm. I'm gonna start it up and let's let it run and see what happens. All right, we're gonna cut the AC on. Let's see, put on recycle. AC is not coming on off. AC's on now. We got it on 60 degrees inside and let's cut the fan up a little bit. Right now with the AC running, there's 2 fans in this car. Both fans should be running. And neither fan is running and the AC compressor is on. So I believe we're just gonna have a fan issue, not a leak at all, because it looked like it was low. But when I put the tube in there, it went down about that far, but the neck is kind of curved like that, so I don't think I got a good reading on it. And you saw what I put in there, next to nothing. Probably a pint of fluid at the most. So let's do this. Let me go ahead and get my scanner on it. Let's see, can I activate the fans and make them work that way? All right, let's get this thing up on the screen. Do I want to load it? Yes, I do. It's attempting automatic ID. It's a 13 Altima with a 2.5 engine, 152,000 miles on it. Let's look at all the system. So let's go to engines. Start there. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's just go to engines. I was going to go back and do a scan on it, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, let's go to functional test, actuator, power balance. Let's go to, what is generic? I don't want generic functions. I want output controls. Where am I at here? Actuator test, ECU, self-learn, power balance, target, idle air. Come on, where's data at? Engine. All right, let's go a different route here. It's not telling me what I want to see. Where is it at? Let's look at functional tests here. I'm in the AC system now. Continue. What in the shit is all this? Come on, man. Special functions? Blower, temperature, target. I'm looking for fan control. Dude, sometimes this snap-on thing, they make things sometimes a pain in the butt to find. Every once in a while I stick this little think car one in there and it does things that the Snap-on one doesn't even do. And that was only 500, probably 600 bucks. And that daggone Zeus was, what, $9,000? Bitch ought to fix cars by itself. It should come with a little helper. You could just have like, go take that belt off, go start the car. You buy a Snap-on Zeus, you get a helper for a year for free. All right, we don't care about that. All right, I'm gonna cut y'all off for a few minutes. Let me find what I want, then I'll show you how I got there. So if you look right here, actuator test, where I didn't hit because I was thinking totally something different, but that's where they put all the stuff at. And we're gonna go down to cooling fan on and off. You got low, mid, and high. Low, middle, and high. Let's start off with low. All right, got it on. Let me go check. All right, let's see if I can get you in there and looking at it. There's the fan right there, and you can see it's not on. Right there. And that's on low. So we're gonna go into cooling fan high, right there. And we're gonna cut it on. Let's go see if it's on. You would hear it, I don't hear nothing. Well, hold on a second. We do have, well, see that one right there? Look at that. That is not really on at all. It's like skipping. I'm gonna take off the fill tube here because there's definitely not a water issue. I'm real confident it's gonna be a fan issue. I don't know about the rest of the shops around, but I know one thing. We have been bombarded with AC work. It has been crazy, especially with the heat index. I think today they said the heat index was around 107. All right, I got it back on high, and it's intermitting while it's moving. If I put my hand on the back of the motor, I can feel the motor's messed up. I can feel the bearings in the motor basically, and it's hot as crap. This one here is not coming on at all, and I'm on high. I've got it on high, so I think they both should be on. Now this one's starting to kick off a little bit. Let me get my trusty body hammer. Let me pull a wiring diagram on this, and let's see if we're getting power. You have a green, red, and yellow wire. Let's go see what these wires do on the cooling fan. So let me show you where I'm at with the wiring schematic. Let me go back one. These are your fans right here. This is the left side fan, this is the right side fan. The right side, we may have two problems going on because the right side fan spins, but if you feel it, I can feel the bearings. It's skipping while it's spinning, and you can feel the bearings. It's just not right. The left side is not coming on at all. So I'm wondering, let's start like this. This red wire here going into the fan motor. Let's see what that does. Okay, that's right here. So that's a 40 amp fusible link. It's constant hot all the time, it says. So I think we need to check that out first because it comes over here. For some odd reason it splits and goes into two. Then this red one's here, and this here goes to blue and black, goes up to the left side engine compartment. It's a junction right here, which comes out of your relays. So the blue and black is controlled. That's your control wire for, like, I guess what speed you're gonna go. All right, let's check that red wire out first, the red and yellow. I guess it's got 3 of them going to it. Let's check 1 and 2 and see if they're hot. They should be hot. All right, so let's start this again. It sent me on a wild goose chase because none of the color codes matched up. And I went down one, and I guess this is a circuit just for a sedan only. It's not a automatic AC system. So these match up my colors a lot better. So what I've got is, we know that the left side fan ain't working at all. And it looks to me like it has a brown and brown wire which goes up to a 40 amp fuse. So that 40 amp fuse comes right in here, splits off in here. You have the red one, which is going to be over here on a number 2 relay, and that gets turned on because there's 3 different speeds as the relays carry on down. And the pink wire, I'm assuming, is going to be your number 1 relay, your number 2 relay, no, your number 3 relay, and your number 2 relays down here. Let's do this. Let's start off with that 40 amp fuse. It's a fusible link, left front engine compartment. It's 40 amp, hot all the time. Let's make sure that sucker's hot. Component location. Everything but what I need. You would think when you look at these damn things, I know what they're doing, they're generically done, but I'm looking for the fuse relay. Why would I care right now where the ECM relay is or the headlight relay? I don't need any of that. There's a fog lamp, headlamp, tail lamp, front lamp, wiper starter, and starter control. Next section, AC relay, fan, fuel pump, cooling fan relay number 1. Nissan puts their stuff in weird places. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go straight to the damn wire itself. The brown wire, 2 of them, should be hot. You know, sometimes you're doing these jobs and you go look at a schematic and you're looking at it and you're looking at it and you're like, this shit just don't add up. Brown and pink and red, brown and brown. We don't have anything there at all. Let's make sure the car is still on. I think the car timed out. But it's that hot all the time. So to me, that would be whether the car's on or off, right? I'm gonna gingerly put this in here and touch it to make sure I got a good connection. Nothing. Nothing. It's possible a bad blower motor blew a fuse, because we're not getting anything. All right, let me get a battery maintainer hooked up. Not wanting to act right inside. I don't know if the battery's going dead or not. I mean, I only had it on for like 3 or 4 minutes. Normally if I'm gonna have it on for an extensive long period of time, I usually go ahead and stick one on it, but I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It's not acting right at all. So I think we have a battery issue too, because I only had this thing on for like 2 or 3 minutes and now it's dead. Let me let it charge up for a little bit and we'll get right back on it. So after doing some research, I kind of came up with a game plan, and it involved cutting open a harness and doing some testing. I didn't show you cutting open a harness and a few things like that because it was kind of boring. That's a boring video. But let me show you where I'm at and what I found so far and what we're going to do moving forward. So one of the first things I did in the fuse box right here, I went ahead and located the fuses. And that's what they are, just like this. It's a stack of fuses that go right here. They're 40 amps. And I know you can't see it, but if you look at it, one is a fan motor, the other one's a fan motor, and one's an ignition. All right, wasn't sure where I left off at. I had a customer come in. I got pulled away for a little bit. So let me just recap for a second. What I've done is I tore open the harness here to follow the wire. This is your fuse box right here. If you look right here, this one here is a fan fuse at 40 amps. There's a 40 amp fuse here for a fan, and this is your ignition. This is what the fuse looks like. It's in series. On your fuse box, it goes right here. So the first thing I did as I tested it, and they're hot all the way down the line. So I tested the fuse, I ohmed the fuse out, and it was good. You're just gonna have to trust me on that. Next thing I did was I went over here to where the fan was. I said, let's find this wire. It's a brown wire. I put it in here. I got it on ohms. I went over here and I went to the fuse because these are the fuses, and nothing. Went on the opposite side, checked the fuses there. Nothing there ohms out. Nothing goes there. Then I went to the fuse box and I checked it there at the pin. Nothing. They're all dead. I said, okay, I'm still on the wire, the brown wire. Let me find it over here. I went to this wire right here and we have it. So I've got a funny feeling that from that clip that way going into that fuse box has a bad wire somewhere. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna pop out this fuse box right here. We're gonna look on the back side. We're gonna see if we find any bad wires, broken wires, or burnt wires. Something is not right there. Here's what kind of pisses me off about Mitchell On Demand. It shows the relay being here. We did check them over here too, if you remember. I touched everything. But after getting it apart, peek it up underneath here, following the wire, this is the prong right here. This prong, when I ohm it out from here to here, there is nothing wrong with it. And I'll show you real quick. It kind of made me go through some extra bullshit at work, but you know, sometimes you take 2 steps backwards and 5 steps forward. Come on. But I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'll set the meter right here. Maybe y'all can see it, maybe you can't, I don't know. So if I touch it here and here, we're looking good. So there is no break in the wire like we assumed originally, simply because going off the schematic off of Pro Demand, which kind of really messes you up sometimes. And I'm all the way at the connector here, and we look good there. So I went and got the fuse, and I double checked the fuse. So I did all this extra work following Pro Demand schematics, and look, we just got a blown fuse. So let me get all this back together, get the fuse in here, and I think our fans, we'll still need fans because that one bearing's gone on the other side, and that's probably what blew the fuse. But we're going to replace a fan assembly and a fuse. But that's where we're at right now. So let me go ahead and call the customer. And no, I will not bill her for any of this extra bullshit because of Pro Demand. But she'll pay the normal diagnostic fee. All right, let me get this back together, call the customer, let her know that she needs a fuse and a fan motor assembly. All right, so as you can see, I got the new shroud in. I got all the wires put back together, got the box put back together. Everything's back in its place. The fan shrouds are aftermarket. The part number is a 620453. It does come as an assembly. I didn't think it'd be an important video to make them showing you how to put a shroud in there, but only advice I'll give you if you have a car like this is go ahead and take the 2 nuts off the module here and the 2 nuts off the module here, lay it aside, and it just comes right out. It's really very, very simple. Putting that in is a skill level about maybe a 1. Got the batteries on there, the ends cleaned up. We're just waiting on fuses to get here. They're coming from the dealer because I couldn't find any aftermarket anywhere that I thought was any good. I saw some really generic ones out there, but we're just gonna wait till today's Friday, so it'll be Monday before it's finished. We'll get the fuses put in, get it started up. She did say her AC compressor wasn't working very well, and I get that simply because if the fan's not working, the condenser's not getting the proper amount of airflow through it. So that's why that's not working. She'll probably have to come back. I talked to her about a serpentine belt because it was cracked. She's gonna come back and get that done later. Other than that, we're just waiting on some fuses. All right, we will see you Monday. Everybody had a good weekend. All right, it's Monday morning. Actually, I'm lying to you. It's after lunch, after 12 o'clock. They spent all day getting me these 2 little fuses here that I needed. You could have got it on Amazon, but you're only gonna save about $5 to $6. And the quality, I'm sure, is crap. You probably put it in and it probably wouldn't even freaking last. So we went with the dealer. Both these fuses together was about 25 bucks, 30 bucks. I'm gonna put both of them in simply because it was just as cheap to get 2. I hate to put one in and something happen down the road. And what I'm gonna do is give her her good one, and we will take the old one and throw it in the trash. That way she'll have a spare. Now once I get these in, we're gonna start up the vehicle. I'm gonna go see, kind of get the fans going on it, because if you remember before, the fan, one of the speeds didn't even work, and the other one was kind of really slow, and you could feel the bearing noise in it. All right, let me get the computer hooked up, and we'll get rocking. All right, I got the car loaded in, and let's see if I can remember where the heck I was last time. Let's try it again, load it again, activate it. I don't know why sometimes it makes me do it twice every time. Tell you what, I took my daughter to a volleyball camp this weekend at one of the colleges. She said she got humbled. She said she was just amazed about the talent that was there. But she said she had a good time and learned a lot. That's all that matters, right? I think it was functional test, actuator tests. All right, I got the key on, and we're gonna get down to the, let's do cooling fan low. So here's the fan, it's right here. Put my hands on it and spin it. Let me cut it on. And you see that fan is spinning now, and the other fan is spinning now, and that's low. Before that wasn't spinning at all. And on this one here, the bearings feel good. So let's exit this. Let's try kicking butt. So I know that the fans are working. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car, turn the AC on, and let's see if it's blowing cold. On. We don't want 75 degrees, we want 60. I think I already heard him kick on. I've got it on recycle and the AC's on. Now last time the fans, one fan or the fans weren't on at all. And they're blowing strong now. I don't know if you can see it or not. But I'm sure you can hear them. We are good. We're golden, baby. Ooh, and the AC is blowing cold. All right. So the moral of the story is, not everything is a catastrophe. Sometimes you just gotta think things through. Like this car here. I listened to the customer, sitting at a stoplight, ran hot, driving along, stayed cooler. What's missing? Airflow. We checked out the fans, realized they weren't working correctly, tried to trace it out. The biggest problem with this car was, I was listening to Mitchell Pro Demand. I tried to follow their wiring diagram and they were totally jacked up. So if you're doing it and you got to get a diagram, they're not always going to be correct. I guess it depends on where you go. But that being said, just remember, think things through, don't rush. If you have a problem like this is something definitely doable at home. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 2. All right, that being said, this video is done. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.